Let us pray. Dear Lord and our Father, we thank you for the time has come for us to listen to your word. Father, you know I have no words of mine to share with your people. But speak through me so that your name and your name alone will be glorified and the blessings will be ours. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. My message this morning is captioned Balaam Syndrome. Balaam Syndrome. A couple of hours ago, I almost changed the title of the message. This title came to me when I was still in school, and that was around 2003, a year before I graduated. I started putting some things together, points, ideas, everything that I come across that can help in developing the sermon. I started putting everything together. And here we are, 2019. This is actually when I'm presenting the sermon. And I said, okay, let me just Google online to see if there is a sermon captioned Balaam Syndrome. Lo and behold, I found one that was presented last year, 2018. But that one is captioned the Balaam Syndrome. I said, well, they look alike. I almost changed it. But I said, well, since it's a sermon, a title I have had all these years, I just have to keep it and then present it. So if you see Balaam Syndrome and the Balaam Syndrome, they are not the same. They are not the same. And probably they will approach the life of Balaam from different perspectives. So friends, the message we are going to share this morning is a message that applies to all of us, male and female, young or old. It doesn't matter where you are in life. This message applies to you and it applies to me. In life, many of us are suffering from different types of diseases or sicknesses, or we have different types of conditions that have made it practically impossible for us to live life at the fullest and to enjoy some of the things that we want to enjoy in life. The history of some of these diseases can be traced back to our parents and even to our grandparents, sometimes to our great-grandparents. And there is a likelihood that these things have been passed to us, and we will also pass them along to our kids. And they will pass it along to their own kids, and the trend continues. Sometimes the condition we are dealing with have nothing to do with our genes. In other words, we didn't inherit them from our parents or grandparents. Sometimes these things started with us, and there is a chance, if care is not taken, that we will pass it along to our kids, and thus begin a new trend. Right now, some of us are dealing with these conditions, maybe at an acute stage. But I'm trying to use medical terms so that we can relate with Balaam Syndrome. I just want to give us a little bit of a background. Then we'll see what we have when it comes to the spiritual realm. Some of us are dealing with these diseases at an acute stage. Some at a critical stage. For some of us, it is a chronic condition that has refused to go. For some of us, we are battling with these diseases or conditions at a terminal stage. You see, many of us go to great lengths to make sure that we are taking care of our body. We eat the right food, we exercise, and we do everything our doctors or our healthcare practitioners tell us to do so that we can maintain a healthy body. But the problem is, quite often, we neglect our spiritual health. We do everything possible to take care of the physical, but we sometimes neglect our spiritual health. Friends, you see, what is true of our physical condition is also true to an extent of our spiritual condition. If we fail to take care of our spiritual health, we are likely to be weak against the attacks of the evil one. If we are not well spiritually, we are likely going to have a negative impact on those that are around us, our children and our family members. Friends, there is a problem that I would like us to discuss with. It is not a problem of our hands or our feet. It is not a problem of our eyes or a problem of our teeth. It is a problem of our heart and our mind. It is a disease that is destroying many without their knowing. It is a situation that I call Balaam syndrome. I tried to look up what syndrome means, and this is what I found in dictionary.com. When the word syndrome is used in the context of psychiatry or in pathology, it is a group of symptoms that together are characteristic of a specific disorder, disease, or the likes. It also means pattern of symptoms that characterize or indicate a particular social condition. Syndrome is also a predictable characteristic pattern of behavior or action that tend to occur under certain circumstances. That is what syndrome is all about. A predictable characteristic pattern of behavior or action that tends to occur under certain circumstances. Could it be that there are some of us today seated here or watching online that are suffering from Balaam syndrome? What is Balaam syndrome, by the way? How do I know that I have Balaam syndrome? If I have it, is there any prescription that I can take in order for me to be well? How do I measure my progress if I am taking the prescriptions according to the way it should be? You see, friends, many sicknesses in life have signs and symptoms. So, when we see some of these signs and symptoms, we immediately call our doctors and book an appointment in order for us to go for consultations. That is what we do. You say, I have a friend. He doesn't like going to doctors. It doesn't matter what kind of doctor the person is. He just doesn't like going to doctors. And one day I asked him, why is it that you pay insurance, you spend all that money, but you don't like to go to see doctors? Do you know what he told me? Do you know? He said, oh, I don't like going to see doctors, because the very moment I will go and see a doctor, he will find something wrong with me, and he will tell me that I'm suffering from it. So that's why I don't like going to see doctors. He said, what my friend failed to realize is that there are some diseases that are what we call asymptomatic. Medical people who are in the medical field, they know what that means. They are asymptomatic. They don't have symptoms. So which means a lot of us are walking around while we are suffering from one ailment or the other. It doesn't matter whether you want to go to the doctor or not, or whether you like going to doctors or not. Many of us are just walking around with conditions that we are not aware of because they don't have symptoms. Friends, in the spiritual world, there are patterns of symptoms that characterize or indicate a particular social condition. Many of us are suffering from this spiritual condition, and it is hindering us from using our spiritual gifts to the fullest, from becoming what God wants us to be in life. But we are not aware of those conditions because we have not been to the great physician. You see, the condition I'm talking about is not the condition that is within the realm of medical science. Medical professionals cannot diagnose it because CT scan, X-ray, and all those tests that are out there cannot pick it up. It is not a disease that they are familiar with. And the prognosis of this disease is not one that is good. Once you have it and you fail to take care of it, it is very deadly. It goes from 0 to terminal stage, which means it is a very dangerous condition. How do we know about this disease? Friend, the only way we can know about it is for us to go into our Bible. Turn with me to the book of Numbers. Turn with me to the book of Numbers. Just put your hands in that place, and I just want us to review some couple of questions before we continue. I know many of you have the sermon notes. I tried this time around to have a little note so that some of you can have it. Because sometimes people keep asking, how can we get a copy of the sermon? You know, one thing is, sometimes I write a sermon and I don't read from it. I come up and I present things that are totally different from that. Because sometimes when you come up here, you may want to stick with the script, but the Spirit of the Lord says, no, I have something better you can use to drive home the message. So I try to put something that can help to guide us as we continue in this message. Now, there are a couple of questions I just want us to ask ourselves before we look at the message that we have today as it relates to the life of Balaam. Number one, how do I know when I'm persistent in faith or when I'm being merely stubborn? There is a difference between being persistent in faith and being stubborn. Both of them may seem alike because some of us are being merely stubborn, but we think that we are only being persistent in faith. How do we know the difference? How do I know when to surrender to God and stop fighting God in the name of fasting and prayer. Friends, there is nothing wrong with fasting and prayer. But there is something wrong when you are fasting and prayer against that which is in harmony with the will of God. Many of us are fighting God in the name of fasting and prayer. We will say that as we discuss the life of Balaam. Are there times when God says no to my prayer request? Are there times God says no? We'll see. But if you want a quick answer, yes. How do I know the will of God in my life in every situation? How do I know? How do I know when I am walking according to God's will, as opposed to pursuing that which is only for my own desire? How do I know? Let's go to the story of Balaam. They say when the children of, even before the children of Israel left Egypt, God has already made a promise to them. And that promise is that He will lead them to the promised land. And that promise didn't just start with them, it started with Abraham. But God told Abraham, in you shall all the nations be blessed, because I'm going to bless you. So we see the children of Israel when they went into Egypt. After a while, God called them, I have a plan for your life. And I want to fulfill that plan. I want you to go back to the land which I promised you. He raised up Moses to take them to that promised land. On their way to the promised land, the Bible said that they came to a place. In Numbers chapter 1, chapter 22, verse 1, Bible said that the children of Israel moved and they camped in the plain of Moab on the side of Jordan across from Jericho. Now look at verse 2. Now Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites, and Moab was exceedingly afraid of the people. When you see them using Moab, it's also Balak. They are just interchanging it because he was the king of Moab. Bible said that Balak saw Israel camping just close within his territory. He became afraid. Now in verse 4 he said, so Moab said to the elders of Midian, now this company, that is children of Israel, they will lick up everything around us as an ox licks up the grass around it. And Balak the son of Zippor was the king of Moab at this time. So in verse 5 he sent messengers to Balaam the son of Beor, who was living at that time at a place called Petor, which is near the river in the lands of the sons of his people. And he said to him, look, a people has come out of Egypt. See, they cover the face of the earth and are settling next to me. Therefore, please come at once, curse these people for me, for they are too mighty for me. Perhaps I shall be able to defeat them and drive them out of the land. For I know that whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you cursed is cursed. Wow. Balak the son of Zippor sent messengers to a man called Balaam. He says, come. There are people that are very close to my territory. I don't like them. I don't like them. I want you to come so that you can curse them, because I don't want them to destroy our land. Friends, there is something about the devil that we need to know. The devil will not use people who are unfamiliar with their circumstances in order to present a stumbling block before you. Rather, the devil will try to seek out people who are familiar with their circumstances in life. He will seek out people who know you are God in order to present a stumbling block before you. Balak sent a message to Balaam because he knows that Balaam knows a little bit about these people. He knows a little bit about their God. There is something I just want to share with you. Let's go to the first slide, please. Okay, move to the next one. The next one. Okay. I know this is very faint. Most of us will not see it very well, but let me read it from here. This is picked up from the book, Patriarchs and Prophets, page 440, the book written by Ellen White. He said, Balaam was once a good man and a prophet of God, but he had apostatized and had given up to covetousness. Yet, he still professed to be a servant of the Most High. He was not ignorant of God's work on behalf of Israel. And when the messengers announced their errand, he well knew that it was his duty to refuse the rewards of Balaam and to dismiss the ambassadors. But he ventured to dally with temptation and urged the messengers to tarry with him that night, declaring that he could give no decided answer till he had asked counsel of the Lord. Balaam was once a good man and a prophet of God, but he had apostatized and had given up to covetousness. Balaam syndrome. Covetousness is destroying the life of many today. Covetousness is one of the things as Christians we need to be careful with. It doesn't have signs and symptoms like the physical disease that we deal with. It is a condition of our heart. It has a tendency to destroy us if we don't take care of it. And we know that we cannot take care of it unless we go to God, who alone can deal with the condition of our heart. You see, when the messengers came to Balaam, who knew everything about God, he knew what God wants him to do. He was once a prophet, but he has apostatized. And we know that prophets are people who speak for God to his people. Sometimes they intercede between God and his people. It was his work to intercede between God and people. It was his work to present to people the counsel and the will of God. But because Balak has sent the messengers with a gift, certain translations say that Balak sent them to Balaam with what they call diviner's fee. Like the consultation fee that we pay when we go to see doctors. Balak has given his men this to Balaam. And Balaam was told, here is the fee. Just come and curse these people. His eyes was just focused on the prize. How many of us have our eyes focused on the prize, even though we know that what we are doing is not in harmony with God's will? How many of us have our mind focused on the end game, and we continue in a path that we know is not in harmony with God's will? You see, we are supposed to be a blessing unto people, not a curse unto them. We are supposed to use our position to bless people. I've met a lot of people, when you go to their office, they will tell you this, and you ask them, so why are all this way? They will tell you, I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job. Even though when you know that your job is causing people untold headaches, it is causing people untold frustrations. You know what is the right thing to do, but you don't want to do it because of the prize. Balaam knew that he shouldn't go with these people, because what they were calling him to do is not in harmony with the kind of work that God has called him to do. But because of the prize, he was willing to go. You see, Balaam thought that he can please God and at the same time please Balak. He said, okay, since you have the prize, since you have the money, hold on, just give me a moment. Let me talk to God. Bible said Balaam went inside. When he came out, he spoke to God, and just look at verse. Numbers, verse 10. So Balaam said to God, Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, sent them to me. When God was asking, who are these people in your house? Who are these people you are asking to stay so that you can consult me? Balaam said to God, Balak the son of Zippor, king of the Moab, has sent them to me, saying, look, a people has come out of Egypt, and they cover the face of the earth. Come, cause them for me. Perhaps I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out of the land. Verse 12. And God said to Balaam, you shall not go with them. You shall not curse the people, for they are blessed. Amen. Whatever God blesses is blessed forever. Just like the Sabbath, and God said, and God finished the work of creation and blessed the Sabbath. It is blessed forever. Whoever God blesses is blessed forever. God said to Balaam, you cannot go and curse those people because they are blessed. You may as well tell them to do what? To go. Just forget about the diviner's fee. But Balaam was unwilling to give up. You see, he came out in verse 13. Look at what Balaam said in verse 13. So Balaam rose in the morning and said to the prince of Balak, go back to your land, for the Lord has refused to give me permission to go with you. He said, I am willing to go, but the Lord has refused to give me permission to go with you. When your will clashes with the will of God, how do you respond? When your plans are in conflict with the will of God, how do you respond? Do you continue to move ahead? Or do you pause and reflect? Balaam, because he was interested in the prize, in the favor that Balak wanted to give to him. He said, God has refused to let me go with you. Bible said that the prince of Moab went back to Balak and told him about what Balaam said. Bible said the king of the king of Moab sent, he told them, oh, don't worry, I know how to get him. I know what he's looking for. Don't worry, I will send people who are more noble than you guys. In verse 15, Bible said that Balak sent princes that are more noble than the first group, with more gifts, more men and women of prestige. They came to Balaam's house. Balaam, we are back. You may as well come and see the kind of group that we came with. And the money has been doubled. Balaam came and saw them. And look at what Balaam said in verse 18. Then Balaam answered and said to the servants of Balak, though Balak were to give me his house full of silver and gold, I could not go beyond the words of the Lord my God, to do less or more. Nevertheless, he said, but nevertheless, please, I don't want to offend you. You know, it's not me, it is God. I don't want to offend you. Come, stay here tonight, that I may go and inquire of the Lord and see what he will tell me. A second time, Balaam knew what God wants him to do. Micah 6 verse 8 says, for he has shown thee, O man, O woman, what is good and what the Lord requires of you and of me. Balaam knew the will of God, but he was unwilling to follow the will of God because it is clashing with his own desire. Balaam said, please, I don't want you to live, like the first group. Hold on, probably this time around, the Lord may likely change his mind. That year, let me go and consult with him. You see, in the medical field, we sometimes consult with 2 or 3 doctors to seek for other opinions. Isn't that what we do? That's what we do. But when it comes to the things of the Spirit, brothers and sisters, there is no second opinion or third opinion with God. When God says no, he means no. God is not like a man that changes with changing time. What God says no today will still be a no tomorrow. So Balaam telling them, stay, let me go back and consult with God. It's just a waste of time. He was trying to fight God in the name of prayer and supplication. And that is what some of us do today. That's what we do today. We are unwilling to give up. We are unwilling to follow the will of God, even when they clash, especially when they clash with our own will and desires. What is God telling us? Friends, beware of Balaam syndrome. An unwillingness to give up. An unwillingness to yield, to dash with his God's will, when you clearly know his will. Some of us, When we are in trouble about certain things, we blame ignorance. It's understandable. Why do you do this? Well, I'm not aware of it. And sometimes it is excused. You see, when God clearly reveals His will to us, and we knowingly go contrary to them because of our personal desires, we have Balaam syndrome. Another problem with Balaam is that he clearly misunderstood the role of prayer and supplication. Prayer time is not the time we go in to fight with God. It is not the time we go and try to change the mind of God. Amen. Prayer is supposed to change us to comply with the will of God, not the other way around. Prayer is not supposed to change God. It is supposed to change us. Balaam was unwilling to give up. He said there are certain lessons we can learn from this. When God reveals His will to us, He simply wants us to yield and to follow. You see, Balaam refused. And when Balaam went the second time, God said, okay, Balaam, you can go with them. But only what I ask you to say, that is what you are going to say. Amen. Bible said very early in the morning, Balaam didn't even wait for the morning to come. Verse 21 says, so Balaam rose early in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the prince of Moab. To tell you how desperate he was. Very early in the morning. Probably, I would guess that he was even the one that woke them up. It's time, let's go before God changes his mind. He has given me permission to go. Bible said he left with the prince of Moab. He said, friends, we should not misunderstand God's permitted will for His perfect will. Let me say that again. There is a difference between God's permissive will and God's perfect will. If you look at verse 12, God says, you shall not go with them. Look at verse 20. God said to Balaam at the night, if the men come to you, rise and do what? And go with them. You see, sometimes God can permit us to do certain things. But that doesn't mean that what He permitted us to do is a reflection of His perfect will for us. It came up a little bit in the discussion that we had this morning in the lesson study. Sometimes God permits us to do certain things, but be very careful. Whenever God says, go and do this, but it's like a negation. Everything up has been cancelled. Balaam, you can go with them, but the things we are pursuing in life, are they things that God simply permitted us, but has the clause but? That which you are striving for, is it what God wills for you in terms of His perfect will? Or is it what you have pushed God to allow you so that you can accomplish? Which one is it? We are safer when we abide by the perfect will of God than when we are walking with His permitted will. There are certain things that God will permit. But that doesn't mean that that is what God wills for us. So let's be very, very careful. I don't know which one you are working on, which one you are pursuing. You see? What God, wills for you cannot contradict His commandments. Whenever God says, this is what you need to do, check very well. It will not contradict with His revelation. Because God is not like us. All that He wants us to do is to simply do what? Simply obey. Balaam said, no, I cannot miss this opportunity. Even if it is not God's will. I have to. I have to. There is something attached to it. Favor and material wealth. Sometimes some of us are doing certain things because we are only interested in the favor that will accrue to us after we have accomplished that thing. We don't really care whether it is in harmony with God's will or not. Which one is it? Balaam left with this man early in the morning. You see, God's Spirit will not permit you to go. Let me put it this way. God's grace will not permit you to go to a place where the Spirit of God will not be present to protect you. What do I mean by that? When God said, Balaam, don't go, he insisted, I want to go. God said, okay, you want to go? You go. Now he saddled his donkey. On the way to Moab, Bible said the angel of the Lord appeared, stood in front of the donkey. The donkey saw the angel of the Lord, but he that claimed to be a servant of God didn't see the angel. You see, covetousness sometimes blind our eyes that we fail to see the danger that is ahead of us. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, the donkey stopped. Balaam said, okay, why are you stopping? I need to get to this place as soon as I can. Bible said he hit the donkey moved and followed the angel. The angel went a little bit further, stood over there. The donkey came, saw the angel, Balaam didn't see, the donkey stopped. Again, Balaam struck the donkey. The angel moved to a place where it is very narrow, so that the donkey cannot cross by any side. The donkey got there, stopped, knelt down, couldn't move again. Bible said Balaam was so furious. Balaam started, hitting the donkey, and the donkey opened its mouth and spoke. Covetousness and unwillingness to do the things that are in harmony or with God's will can sometimes lead us to do foolish things. When our mind is set on the prize rather than that which is in harmony with God's will, it can sometimes lead us to do things that look foolish. Balaam started having a conversation with a donkey. Imagine. He spoke. The donkey responded, and Balaam didn't say, what is going on here? No, because all the senses have been clouded. His mind was just on the prize. My wife works with computers at home. And sometimes he'll be saying something to the computer. And I'll be like, are you talking to me? And she'll say no. I said, okay. Sometimes, out of frustration, if certain things are not working, we begin to speak to some of these things. But to speak to a donkey, and the donkey responds, and you didn't leave the donkey and run away, Balaam, it sounds funny. But that is what foolishness does to us. That is what unwillingness to yield to the will of God does to us in our life. Friends, I don't know what you are struggling with. It says, this is one thing I love about God. God sometimes uses things that look mundane, things that look ordinary, in order to communicate His will to us. Sometimes He goes beyond everything and uses things that are extraordinary to communicate to us His will for our lives. But sometimes, because we are so blinded by materialism, we don't see, we don't hear the voice of the Lord in our lives. Balaam syndrome. Even in our foolishness, even in our stubbornness, God still loves us. Because there is nothing that would have stopped the angel from destroying Balaam right there and then. But God caused the donkey to stop. Engaged the Balaam and the donkey in a conversation. And the angel said, Balaam, I would have destroyed you if not for the sake of your donkey. And Balaam said, I am sorry. But you see, sometimes we say things that we don't really mean. Sometimes we say things that we don't really mean. Balaam said, I am so sorry. Now look at what he said in verse 26. No, not verse 26. Let me start from verse 28. Then the Lord opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, what have I done to you that you have struck me these 3 times? And Balaam said to the donkey, because you have abused me. Who is abusing who? Balaam is now telling the donkey that you have been abusing me. Because the donkey was trying to avoid the angel and hit Balaam's leg on the wall. Instead of Balaam telling the donkey, thank you for saving my life, he's blaming the donkey for abusing him. Isn't that what we do today? When people are trying to save us, we are busy blaming them for our misfortune. So the donkey said to Balaam in verse 30, am I not your donkey on which you have ridden ever since I became yours to this very day? Was I ever disposed to this to do to you? Then the Lord opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the angel. Look at verse 34. And Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, I have sinned, for I did not know you stood in the way against me. Now therefore, if it displeases you, I will come back. Still Balaam, still stubborn. He should have known that displeases God. That what he was going to is not in harmony with God. He's telling the angel, well, if this displeases you, I will come back. Instead of him saying, Lord, I am sorry. Time for me to go back.
Randy, in a long time?
He was still bent on getting to more in order to get the prize.
Thanks, man.
Friends, we know the rest of the story. I don't know what you are struggling with. I don't know the circumstances that you are facing with. But have you asked yourself whether they are in harmony with God's will? How do I know that I have Balaam syndrome? When I clearly know the will of God and what He requires of me, and I'm still willing to go on to do things that are contrary to it because of personal gain or favor. When I'm persistently praying to change God's will, to a purpose rather than yield to it, I am being stubborn. I have Balaam syndrome. When human favor and recognition is much more important to me than divine favor and approval, I have Balaam syndrome. If that is so, what is the divine prescription? How can we take care of that? What is our safeguard? Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, not in some, in all your ways, acknowledge him and he will direct your path. Exodus chapter 23 verse 2 says, it's a counsel that we shouldn't follow the multitude to do evil. Matthew chapter 5 verse 38 says, let your yes be yes. Say what you mean and mean what you say. We cannot say something else and our action is saying another thing. Mark chapter 8 verse 36 says, what good is it for someone to gain the whole world and yet lose their soul? Proverbs chapter 4 verse 26 says, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. 2 Chronicles chapter 2 verse 14 says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face. Not praying to change me, but praying that they will be changed to correspond with my will. Then I will turn from their wickedness. Then I will hear from heaven, and I will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land. Friends, a couple of years ago, before I went to school, I was like Balaam. I tried everything I could to run away from responding to the will of God for my life. When I was in Nigeria, I used to be the leader of the youth department. And every time, people keep, telling me, go and study theology. You are very good with the word of God. You are very good in teaching. You are very good at this. I said, okay, yeah. I didn't want to. I didn't want to. Theology? No, not for me. I want to travel. I want to be like my friends. I want to compete with them and make a name for myself. I keep on running. Keep on running. Even to the point that about four pastors approached me and they tell me, go and study theology. I said no. I would do other things, but not theology. Because I wanted to do things that my friends are doing. I wanted to be a lawyer or engineer or anything. Any of these noble professions. Back home. Then, things have changed now. If you are in theology, school or whatever, or maybe if you study theology, and especially if you have a friend, a female friend, and in the course of discussion and they get to know that you studied theology, that will be the last, that will be the end of that friendship. You keep calling them and they will not pick up. I said, that I'm not going to do. Theology not for me. I wanted to travel. I said, instead of me going to do theology, in the day it was Aswa. I prefer to travel out of the country, to run away from people that will remind me of that purpose. I contacted an uncle of mine who was then living in Zimbabwe. I said, uncle, you know what, I want to come to Zimbabwe. Even when I know that then Nigeria was better than Zimbabwe. I said, I'd rather go to that place than stay here. He said, okay. I will do everything, I will help you to come over. He was working with the Nigerian government over there. He was a military attaché. He said, I'm going to help you. He got the papers, And he called me. Said, do you have a passport? I said, I don't have a passport. He said, go and do a passport. We did a passport overnight. My uncle went to the, even I wasn't even there. He took my picture, took everything, went to the office, and they did a passport, and I picked it up. Very early in the morning, I left to meet with my uncle to get the documents and everything in order to travel, rather than respond to God's will. Got the papers. I have my passport. I have the papers. It's time for me to travel. It keeps coming back. That's not what I planned for you. That's not what I planned for you. But if you want to go, you can go. I said, wow, what is this? And right there and then, I decided to drop everything. I looked at the passport, I dropped it. The papers for my travel, I dropped it. Because the plan was for me to get to Zimbabwe, from Zimbabwe to South Africa, and from the South Africa, here to come to the US. Because I wanted to come to the US, to stay here. I had to give up. I got an opportunity. It came once more, and probably that was the last. I got an opportunity. Go to Zimbabwe, or go and study theology in Babcock. When we got the university, it was Aswa, then it became a university, Babcock. I said, okay, Lord, if you open the way, I will go. I dropped all of this, and I went. We didn't come from a rich family. My family, we are poor. Now the question is, if you want me to go to Babcock, who's going to pay for the fees? Yeah, I still like Balaam. I wanted to find an excuse so that I will not, at least I've responded, but, well, God, that's not my fault. There's nobody to pay the fees. Can I go and do what I want to do? He says, no, I have a plan. So, I went, my dad is here. We gathered everything. I had to sell all the books. I was a canvasser. I had to sell all the books I had. All the Lewis books I have gathered all this time. I had to sell every one of them. My dad gave me some money. I was able to get, then it was 10,000 naira, which is nothing compared to US dollars, which is nothing. My first year school fees then was 66,000. And here I am coming with 10,000 naira. 66,000 naira compared to 10,000. At least I have 56 more. I said, God, here we go again. I don't have the rest. He said, go. So in the course of my going with faith, submitting to the will of God, and I got a contact in the school, and I was able to connect with my uncle. He's here today. He said, okay, if you have decided to be here, I'm going to help you the much I can. And God opened doors. He was sending me money. I was going to canvassing, and I was doing some other things. Right from the first day I came to Babcock, I started working as a janitor. Just to make sure that my finishing school will not be as a result of my own fault. I might not finish it. I started working, he was sending me some money, despite the fact that he has his own family. Everything, canvassing, bringing everything together. It was going. It was going. At a point, it became a little bit difficult for me to continue. God said, no, you are going to finish, I have a plan for you. God opened doors. I had an opportunity to travel out of Nigeria for the first time. What I've been longing to do before. I had an opportunity to travel to Cameroon, to canvas. But although it was an unfortunate, encounter, when I got there, we were like 6 of us, including some pastors from Cameroon that came to receive us. We got there. The first day we landed there, they locked us up. They kept us in detention because they wanted to know what we are coming there to do. God says, that's not the end. So they were able to make calls, and they came to us and said, somebody called from a higher level. We don't know who got in contact with them, and they called, you guys are free to go, you guys are okay. We left. We started our canvassing. Now, that was my second year. Now, my third year is when I went to Cameroon. My fourth year, God opened a bigger door for me. I was able to be among those that were called to canvass in Norway. I was trying to run away. But God says, that's not how I want you to do it. I have a better plan for you. So I went to Norway, canvassed for 3 months during the summer, came back to Nigeria. They called me back again. This time, I was the only person that was called to come back out of all the Nigerians that were going. Right there in Norway, I met with the person who is in charge of everything. And he asked me, what is your plan for your life? I said, well, I don't have any plan for my life. I only respond to what God wants me to do. He said, what is it that you want to do? I said, I want to go to the US and study. He said, Don, I will write a letter for you, take it to the embassy. Everything else will work out. He wrote a letter for me. I went to the embassy, went for the visa. They didn't even ask me anything. They said, what are you going there to do? I said, I'm going there to study, to do my master's in religion. Oh, pastor, you go. Come and pick up your passports. The visa will be ready. Friends, that is how I came here. I was trying to run away from God by following my own will, without knowing that God has something better for me. If not that I responded to the will of God, I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't be here today preaching to you. I don't know where you are. I don't know what is going on in your life. But I just have these things to tell you. Is there anything you are struggling with? You want to do and you are, trying to accomplish it. And you know it is not in harmony with God's will. Friends, it is not too late to say, Lord, I give up. Are there things you have done in the past which you know conflicted with God's express command? It is not too late to say, Lord, please forgive me. Are you finding it difficult to submit to God's will and let Him direct and guide your life? My Bible tells me that now is the accepted time. Now is the time for us to say, Lord, I surrender. Jesus Christ, even at the point of death, says, nevertheless, not my will, but thine, O Lord. God's will for our life is far more better than what we can wish or will for ourselves. He knows what is best for us, and He knows how to accomplish it for us. Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 says, for I know the thoughts I think towards you, says the Lord. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. God has something in store for you. Stop running. Stop resisting. And stop praying to change His way. All we need to do is to say, Lord, I surrender. Lord, I surrender. When you surrender, He's going to make it okay. He's going to perfect everything that you have been struggling with. He's going to lead you to an end that is both a blessing and glorious. So I don't know what you are dealing with. But right now, I just want you to surrender. Right now, tell God that you cannot run anymore. You see, many of us have been trying. We know what God wants us to do, to give our life to Him. And we have been constantly pushing it up. Let me pray more about it. Let me pray more about it. God wants us to get baptized. For the Bible says, except a man be born of water or of the Spirit. We know, but we keep saying, not now. Not now. God says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. You know about it, but you are saying, Lord, not now. There is something I just want to accomplish first, then I will come back. It doesn't work that way. Once you head on that path of destruction, it is like a terminal disease. Balaam didn't live to tell the story. The Bible said that he was destroyed in one of the wars that occurred in that time. But God is a merciful God. He's still willing. He's still ready to save us. He still loves us, even in our stubbornness. May the Lord bless us in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.